D truly works in every cell of the body.
What is the salmon sperm stuff and why is everyone so obsessed with it?
Peptides are a tool for people to perform better, feel better, and look better.
Welcome to the Hot Flash Health Podcast, where we're dishing out unfiltered truths about menopause with a side of sass and a sprinkle of grass.
Get ready to dive into the wild world of hot flashes, mood swings, and all of the other joys of being a queenager.
This ain't your grandma's podcast. No, we are here to talk our bodies, our fears, our passions, our desires, all while navigating this wild roller coaster ride of menopause.
So grab a glass of wine,
For free.
kick back, relax, and let's enjoy this hot flash wave together.
I'm Courtney Mamusha, and alongside me is my fabulous co-host, Dawn Fable.
We're just two outspoken broads who like to call it how it is.
Now, without further ado, let's kick off today's episode.
Welcome, you little beaver brains. Welcome to the Hot Flash Health, where today we are chatting beyond Botox. We are getting into peptides, salmon DNA, and cutting through the anti-aging bullshit. Today, we are so happy to welcome Taylor Campbell. Taylor is an unbelievable force to be reckoned with, who is not only beautiful on the inside, but so powerful and so well known here in the Denver market and beyond. She is the founder and visionary of Restorative Injectables and offering everything and beyond, certainly beyond a med spa. So we are going to dive in today and talk about all sorts of goodness. Taylor is a nurse practitioner who has built her practice on real results, no empty promises. And I'm pretty certain you are the reason that plenty of women are walking out of your office looking refreshed, but still like themselves. She is no bullshit. She's here to break down what's real, what's overhyped, and what you should know if you actually want to maintain your skin, muscle, and brain as you age. In fact, I reached out to Taylor the other day and I said, what in the actual fuck are you doing? Because you look phenomenal. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. I'm determined to be the number one download on your podcast. So,
Girl, you
got all
are.
the-
Talk to me about this cute little like mom flip you have going on.
Okay, so I went to Paris for my 40th, and there's this thing called the French bob. I didn't know about this. And so I decided to get a French bob before I went, and now I'm obsessed.
Dude, you might be like starting the new trend here in Denver. You're going to see a bunch of.
I know you have one too.
Well, I
I
just
feel
need
like
to
we should
flip it up or
own the
something.
French bob. But it kind of starts to flip out after a while, and then you got to like do all that. But whatever. I do like it. It's a new look for me. I'm 40. I just turned 40.
Girl, you look good. And I've got to figure out all the things you are doing, because when I reached out to you and I said, Taylor, now mind you, Taylor, I've been seeing Taylor for Botox and fillers and all of the things for years. I think me and half of Denver, really. In fact, we will credit with women aging beautifully here in Denver because of you, not looking, like a crazy person with, all of the Cherry Creek sort of plumped lips and looking scary like Michael Jackson face. So we will credit you for that. But, it's really interesting because when I reached out to you and I said, what are you doing? You look absolutely unbelievable. Like, you're glowing, your skin. I know that you're feeling really great. And there's a lot of rage around peptides. And we're going to get into that. But what I've really appreciated about your practice is you go so far and above and beyond just the Botox and fillers. I feel like Botox is sort of the starting line and has been like the gateway drug for us all. But you have been so progressive in really embracing science, really taking a look at the newest evolving technologies that are coming and really helping women age gracefully. So we're going to get into that. Let's talk about this stuff that's a salmon sperm facial. I mean, let me be very clear. I don't want any sperm on my face.
Who does?
But I mean, what is this? What is this salmon sperm stuff, and why is everyone so obsessed with it? Is that why you have such beautiful skin? You have sperm on your face?
I mean, I'll take the salmon sperm all day. Me too. I don't want anything else on my face, but I will take this one because I think what we're learning in aesthetics is no longer just like a band-aid of slapping things on. Like aesthetics is moving into regeneration. And so that's regeneration of tissues, regeneration of cells. And we've found goodness to science and some really incredible people outside of the United States that salmon sperm DNA is very regenerative, anti-aging, has really high anti-inflammatory properties, healing, and that is why the buzz is what it is. So when you do all of that to the skin as a whole, you start to see that bouncy skin that we all want. And we lose as estrogen starts to go down, as cortisol starts to go up, all those things that happen to women as we age. So the salmon sperm facial, huge buzz, right? I think Kim Kardashian came out and was like, I've been doing this. And then everyone went crazy. The key is it a trend? Yeah, everything in our industry is a trend, but these trends aren't going to go anywhere in terms of the properties of what salmon sperm is. Salmon sperm isn't going anywhere in our industry. A salmon sperm just facial on your face, pretty good, but it's the delivery of it. So we have different ways of delivering it into the skin. So think about the skin being in like multiple layers. So if we microneedle it in, little bit better. If we inject it into the surface of the skin, around the eyes, it's really good. So all of those things can be very beneficial, but it has to be the proper delivery. So I think that's where consumers like don't just go get a salmon sperm facial. We offer them, but ours is like how it's being delivered into the skin. So trendy, yes, but very beneficial if it's utilized in the right way. And that's where the consumer has to get really smart about like, okay, how is this being delivered into my skin? And then you get the results. But definitely not going anywhere because of how regenerative it is to the skin. And we want to fix things. We don't want band-aids anymore. We talk about this all the time. I don't want you to just put a band-aid on something that's like slowly dying on my skin. I want it to be better and regenerate that tissue. And now we can do that in aesthetics, which is crazy and incredible for us.
Yeah, that's amazing. And thank you, because I think part of us get so overwhelmed by all of the noise and all of the bullshit and all of the marketing out there. I'm sure you have people in gas stations like bottling up, a bottle of coconut oil and saying it's salmon sperm, and you're buying these types of things on Groupon and things like that. And I feel like if you're really going to invest in a regenerative approach to your skin, you need to do it with people who have studied, people who are offering premium products, the deliverability method, all of those sorts of things. And that's why I've loved coming to you for so long, is because you take things and you bring such an element of science and research and innovation and use it in true practicalities. What for a lot of other people who are buying these types of things on Groupon, I mean, what do you really think sets you apart? Because you are so knowledgeable and you are so progressive in all of the treatments that you're offering.
I think because we vet these manufacturers like crazy. We're not buying salmon sperm from Joe Blow down the street, right? We have big contracts, major partnerships with the manufacturers of these things, right? So we're going to the best source. We're figuring out where that is. We're traveling abroad. I'm in Korea. I'm going to Europe. Like I'm figuring out where the stuff is being sourced at. And then once it's approved in the United States to be able to be distributed, then we're partnering with those manufacturers and getting it directly from the source. Like I'm not a big, like 5 hands in the pot kind of person. I like to go directly to probably people I shouldn't be like thinking I have a chance to talk to and strike a deal, get me this product, and then I will like source it to my consumers and my consumers only, So you don't know where people are getting stuff from. And I tell all of our providers, like, keep those bottles out. Let everyone see exactly like where the stuff, and let them Google it. Like let them figure out where our salmon sperm is, because we have premium products. And that's no matter what, we will always keep that because I do think the saturation of the market, the influencer game, all of that, people can say whatever they want and claim that salmon sperm is, like to your point, could be coconut oil. We don't know. Who the hell knows what people are doing? So that is, I feel like my job is to like have direct partnerships with the manufacturers so patients feel safe getting stuff done.
Yeah. Now, I was stalking your Instagram because I'm always like visiting your amazing Instagram to see what the latest trends are and see what in the fuck you're doing that you look so amazing and half of the women in Denver look so amazing. And one of the things that I encountered was this PDGF, right? These platelet derived growth factors for under eye treatment. And I was really intrigued by that because I think I'm 47, maybe I'll be 48. And one of the things that I've really noticed in the past couple of years is I am aging quickly, right? I am noticing more loss of elasticity. I'm noticing sort of more of the hollow around my eyes. I'm noticing, my eyelids sagging. I'm noticing all of those things. And so I was really intrigued by this treatment, and you don't hear a lot about it unless you're like in LA, New York, any of those things. Talk to us about this and how women can benefit from this, because I think this is tremendous as we want to really age naturally.
Yeah, so PDGF is relatively new, not to medicine as a whole. It started in the dental world where they would inject it to help with implants or grow the bone and things like that. So PDGF has been around. Aesthetics as a whole has just gotten their hands on it. But think of it as like it's an injectable that can be used. It can also be used with lasers, microneedling, things like that. And it's a signaling protein, and it's telling your body to regenerate tissue and to bring blood flow to an area, which again, when we talk about like putting band-aids on things, 5 years ago, our only option was if you came in and you were a candidate for an under eye treatment, we were putting filler in. Hands down, like I was pumping filler into people because it's what we had at the time. And now, like we've progressed so much. So we've really gotten away from putting filler in the under eyes of almost 99% of people. The great thing about this is there's no blood draw required, right? So you come in, we are able to inject it into the tissue for that regeneration, and you're telling your body to make collagen in that area. And that is, I mean, these are incredible things because again, we're not slapping band-aids on problems. We're truly going after what the patient is concerned about and helping them fix the problem. Because with regenerative aesthetics, we can like regenerate that tissue. It's not a one and done. Nothing in our industry is one and done. There's maintenance with all of it, but it's a better mechanism, I believe, for the patient long term.
Yeah. And I so appreciate your approach. You're so honest, right? And you and I have obviously going back a long time, but I'm pretty sure you're like this with all of your clients. But you were the first one who told me, and I so appreciated it because you were doing Botox and I was willing to spend thousands of dollars on Botox. And it wasn't working anymore for me because my eyelids were dripping over my skin. And you literally said to me, Taylor, you said, Dawn, I will not do Botox anymore for you because it's not going to work and it's not going to give you the outcome that you want until you sort of address this droopy eyelid situation. And so you were the first person who encouraged me to get a blepharoplasty, which I did, and it was wildly successful. And now coming to you for these types of treatments above and beyond the filler are just going to make that situation so much better. And I'm going to age more naturally, age more gracefully, perhaps save money in the long run. And so talk to me about, so many of us women, again, going through this sort of menopausal journey, are starting to see the droopy eyelids and starting to see Botox not quite working like it was. So what is your approach with that type of situation? Because I think so many women could benefit from me and you and this storyline of what you and I experienced, because I truly have you to thank for this. So thank you for being so honest and being so bold with me.
Yeah, of course. I feel like that's my job. And like probably how I've been able to retain patients for over a decade of doing this. I do think we're seeing a lot of, not that Botox necessarily isn't working anymore, but I think the way that we were treating people 10 plus years ago of this like really frozen forehead, like low brows, like, and we just were like almost like not convincing people, but it's like every 3 months you got to be frozen. And it was like this whole thing. It was a trend, it was a movement. But really quickly got away from that, especially in my practice of like, okay, the forehead does not need to be frozen because most of us women have excess skin here and it needs to be removed. Like I've got like 30-year-olds who I'm like, girl, I love you, but like I can't keep dropping your brow down because you look 39 and that's not cute, for your age. Like we're okay with it, but not for you. And not everyone is ready for a surgery necessarily, but I have been very firm for several years now where I just won't do it because it doesn't look good. And I think I probably did it on you at one point and made it look worse. So therefore, like it's a testament to Botox isn't the fix for everything. And I think we have convinced a lot of people for a long time that it is, but it isn't. And like that is where like you can't just do the Botox. And a lot of us need an upper bleph, and it may not be in the cards for everyone. But then the treatment plan needs to change to where people still look really good, even if they don't go get a bleph and they still want to do the Botox.
Totally. And thank you. I mean, truly, like, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I have told so many people, like, you have to have these honest conversations with the person who's doing these treatments to, one, make you not look like an alien or Michael Jackson, and two, help you like progress, in the next like 5 to 10, 20 plus years to age naturally. So, I've been seeing a lot of this stuff on like TikTok and Instagram and all of the things of like, what are the treatments that are worth the hype? What are the treatments that, are worth skipping, right? All the things. So let's go through a couple of these things and you give us your thoughts. Topical estrogen. I've been hearing a ton about that.
10. So good. For around that. It's so, so good. Think about when your estrogen starts to decline. Not only does it make you feel like shit, but the skin changes when estrogen starts to decline. So more laxity, more fine lines and wrinkles. And even though you're doing hormone replacement therapy, we maybe aren't targeting specific areas. So I love a topical estrogen around the eyes, around the mouth, and on the neck.
Especially with all you ladies who are walking around like sipping your Stanleys. That shit's not helping your lips.
Why are these girls and their Stanleys? I can't.
My daughter, my 9-year-old daughter. I mean, we have such a problem. I know you have 3 kids too, but it's like the marketing that's happening with these young children. I mean, my 9-year-old walks out of
It's crazy.
Thousands of dollars. She now has a complete facial regimen that I'm sure is full of carcinogenics and not natural ingredients at all. And she smells like a streetwalker when she walks out. And I'm like, our 9-year-olds like looking and buying into this TikTok stuff, but it is a thing. I mean, just wait. It's crazy.
I know, I'm not prepared for that. No. Topical estrogen all day. I have a little specific concoction that I call in for all of my patients. I'm not going to disclose that on this, but it is the money shot all the time.
Now, speaking of lips, now that we're on this subject, what about a lip flip? Because you did that to me one time and it was awesome.
I love a lip flip. I think it's a good way to like give you a little bit of a poutier smile without the long-term commitment of filler, and it looks good. I think it's a no-brainer. It's easy, cheap, it's good.
Okay. You see all these bozos posting pictures of their red light masks that they're buying for, $400 on Amazon. Like, what's the scoop on these?
I mean, if you used it like twice a day, every single day for the rest of your life, maybe. But everything at home is not potent enough to be the only thing that you do. If you want to do it every night to like relax and wind down, great. But it shouldn't replace an actual treatment that moves the needle on your skin. And again, I think this is marketing, right? Like we live in a world of where we're marketed to. But like you would be way better served spending $400 on like a microneedling and a chemical peel than doing a red light every night.
Thank you for the honesty, because that was sort of my take. Let's talk about all the tapes, right? Taping the things. The tape to increase your eyes, the tape, the snoring tape. I mean, I would love to tape my own mouth so like I don't have to put out, when asked. But what's the deal on all the tape?
I'm probably going to get like canceled for this. I mean, okay, I think scientifically, like from a mouth tape perspective, it's like we know that nasal breathing is better than mouth breathing. That we learn that in when you go to school and learn anatomy, right? The passageways are better. ENTs would probably agree with this. Mouth tape or jaw tape from like an aesthetic perspective, no. There's no way that keeping your mouth closed at night is going to fix your jowls. Like that's the shit I cannot handle. Like no. But if you want a mouth tape so you don't have to have sex with your husband or so you can breathe through your nose, go. Like do it. But it's not going, there's no way.
Yeah. Yeah. Collagen
Sorry.
powder.
Again, I like collagen powder, but the amount you have to do it every single day and you have to be consistent with that stuff. And it's passing through the GI tract, and by the time the amount that you're actually getting is so low. So I think if you want to do it, great, but you need another source to build actually collagen synthesis. It's just not powerful enough.
NAD injections.
You know, I'm a big fan of NAD injections. I'm going on my 3rd year. My son's about to turn 3 in August, and that's when I started right after I had him. Huge fan of NAD injections. I do them. I did them right before we had this podcast. I do the nasal spray. It is hands down the one thing I am consistent with because I'm not perfect. I try to do all the things that I preach, but I don't always get them done. NAD is my non-negotiable, mainly for the brain fog. It has like helped me so much just with the mom fog, the working, the whatever. It's just that clarity. And it's like, you don't know until you know. You don't know how foggy you are until you get a dose of NAD. And then you're like, whoa, like I can like make good decisions and I can function at a really high level. And I think that's all ultimately we want to do is function at a really high level.
You know, it's so interesting because the number one thing that I have noticed in perimenopause is brain fog. I cannot find a word if I tried. I call my kids every name in the book except for their own, including the dogs, including my dead dogs, including ex-boyfriends. Like, I mean, I can't even figure out their names. And my executive functioning, I used to multitask like a true genius. And my executive functioning, I cannot multitask anymore. I'm not efficient as I once was. My temper and my tolerability, I have just been, you and I were laughing before, I'm like a feral, unhinged cat in every regard. And so NAD helps with this.
NAD truly works in every cell of the body. So I love this as like your MVP supplement because most of the things that we take are focused on specific organs. So like clearly we're getting marketed to about like heal your gut and everything will be better. And it's like everything is so focused on an organ like the brain or just the gut, or maybe it's inflammation. But NAD works on every single cell in our body, therefore tackling every single organ. And there is no supplement, there is no medication, there's not enough Adderall in the world to make you function highly with every single cell in your body. And NAD is able to do that, not with one shot, with a continued dose forever. Like also people are like, well, how long do I have to be on NAD? I'm like, every time for the rest of your life. Every time you fill your car up with gas, you're going to have to take an NAD shot. Like nothing in this life is a one and done. So I think that's where people are like, well, I'm going to do NAD for a couple of months and just see. And it's like, great, but you're never truly, you can get off of it if you want, but this is a longevity play. This isn't like again, a Band-Aid. This is a longevity play. So if you're invested in your ultimate longevity health and you want to be a high performer and you want to feel better and all, you want everything to basically work better for you, that is why you take NAD.
I think we as women have to take NAD. Like, we don't have the option anymore. We're not slowing down this process. We're not slowing down the brain fog. We're not slowing down the muscle mass. We're not slowing down this stuff unless we're being really proactive and really comprehensive in what we're trying to do to our bodies. So, NAD is something you've been a huge proponent of, where I really want to spend some time today on this podcast because there's so much hype around it. And I've listened to you talk a million times, and I've watched you age so beautifully and function so beautifully. Peptides, 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 peptides. What is the deal on peptides?
I think that peptides are, I think a lot of people are starting to adopt this because the trust in medicine as a whole is like slowing down for people, right? Like everyone is really questioning what everyone is putting out in medicine. And not that peptides are like the cure all for that, but I think people are open to exploring other alternatives. For me and most of the patients in my practice, peptides are a tool for people to perform better, feel better, and look better because we are in an industry of looking good. Like, you can call it vain, you can call it whatever you want, but my job is to look good and to make people feel good. And if you look good, you feel good. So peptides are a way to do that. And there's a couple of different ones. There's a million you'll hear about. I focus on like 5 because those are the things I hear from my patients day in and day out. I have trouble sleeping, I have brain fog, I have no energy, and I want to look better. And I'm like, okay, here's the 5 core peptides that I believe can help with all of those things. NAD helps with all of them, but again, works on every cell of the body. And sometimes people are like, well, I'm more focused on specific things. Maybe it's just true skin health, or they're wanting the elasticity of the skin. So we focus more on the GHKCU, which is a copper peptide. That one is really popular. And we try to formulate them in ways that are easy for patients to use, like a nasal spray or under the tongue. Some people like injections, but the key is that you're consistent with all of them. So whatever it takes to get a patient consistent, I can put these peptides, not me, usually the pharmacist, in whatever form the patient thinks that they will use them. A lot of times it's the nasal spray because people can just throw them in their bag. You're driving your kids to school, you're like, oh, I need my copper peptides today, and whatever that looks like. So I don't see peptides going anywhere, for sure, not for me. And definitely in my practice, like I only see this expanding, but we try to keep it like pretty narrow because I think consumers and patients can get very overwhelmed when they're like, well, how many do I need? And this feels overwhelming. And it's like, we usually start people out on 1 or 2 to really target whatever they're feeling at the time, whether it's brain fog, fatigue. But they are massive in terms of what they can do for the body. And these are already naturally occurring in our body. So our cells recognize these peptides and like turn on really, really fast. But as we age, all of these good things that we used to have in our cells, we don't have anymore. Like, the decline in aging causes those problems. And as those cells, we start to lose all of these things that we need, that's when we start to run into health problems, menopause, and there's got to be a way for us to help target those. And so that is kind of where those peptides play.
So what are your top 5 go-to peptides? I mean, I understand that, they're based upon what you may be experiencing, and you're not going to do the same top 5 for everyone.
Yeah.
What for you have been your favorites, or what are you seeing the most demand for?
My personal favorites, NAD, obviously. The GHKCU is the copper peptide, and it's in a lot of products too, but it's very anti-inflammatory and very, very healing to the skin. So getting that into our cells directly is crucial. And I love that one as a nasal spray. So I have it as a nasal spray and a dropper. I put it in my hair. I drop it in my scalp and rub it in because it can stimulate the follicles. And then I do spray it in my nose 2 to 3 times a week. And to me, that's the beauty peptide, bouncy skin, good hair, all the things that we yearn for, that we're God, I want this. I want to feel just fresh. That is what that copper peptide is. And the healing properties within that are really where you get that beauty as a whole, like not just like a frozen face of Botox. Like we truly want these cells reversing in age. And so that combo with the NAD is really good. Tesamorelin has been really popular, and that really helps people lean out. Not like GLP-1 style, love those too, but a different mechanism. So think like lean muscle mass. And we know as like women, post baby and then perimenopause, like it is so hard to build muscle. And all these people are like, eat protein and do all this shit. And it's like, well, yeah, but like is that enough? Like to like feel better and actually see a change. So the tesamorelin is really, really good for lean muscle mass. And that's an injection that you can do. That's not a GLP-1. Some people are like really anti-GLP-1s for some reason. I don't know. We should dive into that and figure out why they are. That one. And then there's a little concoction I use to help people for sleep. And it is proprietary, so I can't really disclose it on here, but it's an injection that you do at night, specifically during menopause, and it like can get you to sleep and keep you asleep. And I think when women are dealing with hot flashes and trouble going to sleep that's the number one thing I hear from women. I'm not sleeping, and not sleeping well. And that ages you too. So those are kind of my go-tos, and then our go-tos in our clinic too.
Amazing. Thank you. You're hearing a lot about the peptide of BPC 157. What are your thoughts on that?
Love it. Great for inflammation. It's not even like if you're a major athlete or like working out. It's good just like if you're out playing golf or you're playing tennis. It's really about the inflammation of the cells. And we hear this all the time. Like everyone that we know has an autoimmune disease, and everyone is like inflamed with a histamine response that no one knows where it comes from, right? So everyone is looking to decrease inflammation in their body, whatever that means to them. Everyone has a different interpretation of that. But that BPC 157 is like a massive anti-inflammatory, which is better than an ibuprofen or something like that. That's like destroying your gut, or, there's so many things that people take medically that are worse than these peptides on your body. And so I think that's where you're going to see these like really start to take off.
Totally. And then of course, the most popular peptide that we're all seeing, and I was an early adapter to, I was very vocal about being vain, having a really difficult time losing weight, not wanting to spend a lot of my day as a busy full-time working mother of 3, trying to lose weight and loving wine. And so I oftentimes joke, I'm like, the only exercise that I have really consistently run to is giving myself a trizepatide shot or GLP-1. Because let's be real, like the last time I had a 6-pack, I was just laughing with a girlfriend the other day. The last time I had a 6-pack was on a girls' trip when I was sitting in an upward float and my fat rolls were hanging over one another and I was sunburned in between the fat rolls. So it was amazing. It totally looked like I had like a pure 6-pack. I was like, this is fucking awesome. But with that being said, now that things have settled down a little bit with the GLP-1s and Ozempic and trizepatide and semaglutide and all of the things, like what are your thoughts on that? And I too am curious why everyone has such a strong opinion on whether people should do it or not. Like if you want to do it and if you feel better about yourself and it helps you reset and it helps with so many additional things, like you do you, girl. So what are your overall thoughts? I mean, we could spend a whole podcast talking about this, but your overall thoughts on GLP-1, the microdosing of GLP-1s, what if you get off GLP-1s? Can you do GLP-1s with other peptides? Tell us everything.
I personally love the GLP-1s and the microdosing for me and for all of my patients. And I think there are so many added benefits. I could go down a rabbit hole with you of, yes, weight loss, but like all of the other things for so many patients who have thyroid, PCOS, just preventative aging as a whole. I personally microdose them. I have for a really long time. I think we've all been, you and I both are very vocal about what we always do. And I'm not a gatekeeper in that situation. I definitely encourage people too that are on the fence about it to microdose versus maybe the full insurance base, like all of that, because I do think that can be a little much. And then it isn't as well controlled. I like the microdosing because I think it's a way to maintain weight loss and be able to get off of them and also not lose the weight too fast. So therefore you're able to really control, you know, you hear all this about the muscle mass going away, and we really focus on how can we like help these people get to where they want to be over time. We're not a quick fix, but to be able to microdose these to feel better and to truly like get to where they're at a happy place, because I don't know, everyone deserves to feel good in their own skin. Like, so if it's literally like a shot once a week to feel good for something that, like, again, people ask me all the time, how long do I have to be on this? I'm like, well, probably for the rest of your life, because how long have you thought about being overweight? Probably every day for the past 20 years. So is it not okay for you to be on these for the rest of your life and never have to worry about this again and you feel good about yourself? Like, if that's the least we can do, then so be it. You know, like that's my duty. I'm like, everyone deserves to feel good. And that's, I don't know why there's such a stigma around it. My sister and I laugh. There's this meme on Instagram that it's like, all the skinny girls are just mad that we have a thigh gap now. And it's like funny because it's like, is that it? Like, we don't want everyone else to look good. Like, we don't want the competition. Like, what is it? You know, so it's funny. We joke about it all the time. But like, if you have a thyroid problem and you've never been able to regulate your metabolism, this is like a godsend. It's one thing they don't have to think about. And we're already having to think about too much. It's like, why do we have to think about like our weight? Like, let's just make life easy. Why are we making it harder?
Totally. And instead of like sitting there crying and eating ice chips and lettuce, help yourself, you know,
Yeah,
yourself.
like take that shot, girl.
Totally.
And then just like
Well,
go live.
thank you, because you know, and you're like a skinny person. I mean, just
Totally. Like
naturally, but
mine is more like I want, again, we want to function at a high level. You're a high performing person. I'm a high performing person. Like, I want to feel good and I want to look my best. So, do I need to lose weight? No. But, like, does that help me not have to think about, like, okay, what am I eating today and plan my meals out? And it's like, I still use it as a tool, but it's one less thing I have to worry about. And I still work out every day. Like, my life hasn't changed because of this. It's better. It's just a tool. So I think people need to understand that.
we've covered so much today, Taylor, and I love talking to you because you're honest, you're bold, you're progressive, you're beautiful in all of the things. So many of
Thank
us
you.
women are trying to piece it all together, right? Save money, you know, wasting money. We all just want a comprehensive solution and help for our skin, our muscle tone, aging gracefully and beautifully, you know, being able to balance our weight, the brain fog, all of the things. If someone were to see you today as a perimenopausal or menopausal woman, where would you start with them?
I would definitely put them on NAD and probably a topical estrogen cream
I'd like
because
to come in and see you like next week for that.
I think the NAD, because it's very instant, even though it's something you have to maintain, you feel so good instantly that I think everyone deserves to see what that feels like. Even if it's just like you take your first dose and you're like, oh my gosh, the clarity of that. Every person, male or female, deserves to feel what that feels like. And I think that is how people start to understand how powerful these things are. So everyone gets NAD. Half the time I'm like, I'm going to give you a free NAD shot right here just so I don't have to sell you. You just get to live this experience. And then I think when those people are in here, 90% of them, their skin is starting to go in a direction that they don't want to. And the topical estrogen works really quickly. And so I like to put them on that because they see results quickly. That to me is getting them where they want to be, and then they feel better. And then you can start to open the doors to really all the other things that maybe they need to do, or maybe that's all they ever want to do. And that's great too. Like, it's everyone has a different like barometer for what that means to them. But for sure those two things. And they're easy.
Yeah. Well, and you can't buy this stuff online, right? You can't go into a med spa that's offering it on
No.
Groupon. You can't Get it at your chiropractor's office. Like, find the real deal, like Taylor. Speaking of, because I know I've sent a million people in there and everyone has loved you and adored you, and we share so many mutual connections. And I'm so proud to see that the people who you've treated and are my beautiful friends are aging gracefully and beautifully and not looking like crazy people. Where can people find you? How can we get more Taylor Campbell in our lives? How can we explore and learn more about NAD and peptides and going above and beyond Botox? Tell us where we can get more of you in our lives.
So Instagram's the best place because that's where I'm most consistent. So our Instagram is at Restorative Injectables. And then coming into the clinic, that's truly the best way to have a consult, discuss everything, see what's available. But I do put out like once or twice a week little reels or quick little webinars about peptides and everything that I'm doing because I feel like people ultimately want to know. So coming into the clinic and hitting us up on Instagram are the best ways.
Oh, you're amazing. I feel so blessed to have you in my life, not only from a treatment standpoint, but just as someone who's talking so openly. There will be many more conversations, I'm sure, with you in Hot Flash Health as trends evolve and people are looking for more information. You are my trusted source of who to go to or who to listen to for any of this. And I feel like we need that one person in our life because there's so much noise. So ladies, until next time, stay sassy, keep your hot flashes in check. The Taylor Campbell, do yourselves all a favor here locally in Denver. And if you're not in Denver, get your ass on a plane because you will thank yourselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. You are a beautiful human. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. Remember, menopause may be a wild ride, but together we've got this.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Hot Flash Health.
Stream and subscribe to us on any of your favorite listening platforms like YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
And of course, share your thoughts with us. We love hearing from our amazing listeners.
And until next time, stay sassy, stay fabulous, and keep those hot flashes in check.
Yeah, girl.
Woo!